Good, my quick crypto family and my coin factory family. We're back once again with another daily Kaspa crypto live stream. I apologize for not going live earlier. I had the genius decision last night to burn myself from making food. The burn was quite bad and I physically couldn't focus enough to do anything, let alone work, even talk to you all for the allotted hour that we normally do. It was a silly mistake. Hopefully my hand will recover soon. That being said, we've got a very, 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 very big stream to cover for today. We've got a lot of information, a brand new game-changing smart contract update in a sense, with the creator, if you will, the man who coined smart contract, Nick Szabo. He has finally become active after 4 years of inactivity on Twitter, and he is talking about Kaspa, which is very, very big news. We've got some smart contract updates regarding Casplex, some good, some bad, some ugly, equally some Agri Labs updates, and so much more. And equally, if you have seen the whole title of today's stream, we've got more Binance rumors, Binance speculation, which, again, no listing right now, frustrating as always, still no idea of when, but we are hearing from the likes of the Binance interns, but also CZ Binance himself, that they're evidently looking towards stuff like Kaspa. And we'll play those clips and showcase those sources in just a moment. And equally, got some other sources as well to get through in this stream. So as always, family, if you enjoy the content that I tend to do daily, if I don't make a mistake and burn myself and whatnot, if you enjoy the stuff, the content, leave a like, share with your friends, subscribe for more, turn on that post notification bell so you know when it is I'm going live, or better still, come join my free Discord server right here on the top line of the homepage, also down in the description, because you will know if I am going live that day. I'll make an announcement there if I am going live. If I don't make an announcement, I'm normally going live around this period of time every single day. That being said, welcome back to the stream, everybody, once more. Double D, welcome back, brother. Hope you're having a very, very good day. Great weekend so far. And new trip, Tony, welcome back, my man. Devious Me, hello to you too, brother. Nathan, let's break records today. Hopefully we will. We have seen Kaspa shock a lot of people, no doubt about it, and I'm sure we'll see a lot more coming through soon. On the check-in, LB, welcome back, brother, and you to Lau as well. Knight Rider, King Kaspa indeed, welcome back, my man. Now some in finance are talking about quantitative easing. We'll see what they do. I mean, I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised they're talking about it. Again, we have to wait and see. We've still got a lot of macro data to take into account. Like Friday coming up will be the jobs report, and if the job reports come back low, which would be incentivizing more rate cuts, then you might see the Fed continue cutting rates, will then force shift their stance from quantitative tightening to quantitative easing. And actually, if anybody remembers Jerome Powell's last FOMC speech, which was last week, he was talking about trying to shift from the quantitative tightening to a more neutral policy stance. So even though he's saying neutral, you're going from QT to neutral, which means you're starting to ease it a bit. So it is going towards QE, which is great. And of course, that means less restrictions on the economic standpoint, therefore more capital being allowed to flow into the investment markets because it shifts from risk off to risk on. And you can see in the likes of the M2 money supply, for example, it is literally rallying at all-time highs right now, making higher highs, which is again a great indication that more money's into the economy, and that should inevitably, in a few months' time, as the liquidity tends to take that long, in a few months' time, the liquidity will flow into the Bitcoins and into the altcoins as well. You can see right now from the daily time from Ethereum sitting at 110k, and again, it's as we've been talking about, right? We've been talking about the fact that Bitcoin 110k is going to probably be playing around this zone right now. These are we saw it come down to 108, 109k. It's now trying to break above 110k. It's currently above it, but we need to see it finish above this on the daily for us to have a good chance of us starting to make this move back up again. Otherwise, then we'll probably continue correcting a little bit more for the next couple of days, week or so. I'm expecting 107k to be a bottom. If not, worst case for me, I don't think, not financial advice, of course, I don't believe we lose 100k. I think worst case we come back down to maybe 101k down here. Absolute worst case, maybe 100k, absolute worst case, but I think we'll probably end up stopping and reversing around this region here. And then once we break up above 117k, next leg of the cycle is basically confirmed, which would be great stuff. We can see Ethereum right now just above 4k as well. Again, came down a little bit below that 3.9k, but again, managed to make a big rally back up to 4k and is holding that right now. Very, very good. And then Kaspa, of course. Kaspa is doing, as we spoke about, you know, it was a scenario that we spoke about possibly happening, given certain circumstances with Bitcoin and Ethereum. And it's happening right now, where Kaspa is literally replicating this consolidation phase it did after Liberation Day in mid-April, and equally in late June, early July here, where they consolidated below 8 cents right now. We're on day 5 right now, of Kaspa being just below 8 cents, trading between 7.2 and 8 cents around this zone here. We'll have to see where it goes from here. If Bitcoin holds this level, then Kaspa will probably continue holding as well and make a gradual move up, hopefully. We'll have to wait and see. Right now, Kaspa is currently down 0.84% on the daily time frame, valued at 7.57 cents. You know, we know the price. Nothing's changed. Is it bearish? Sure. But do we have a lot more coming out? Yes. And today's sources are, if anything, a massive voting confidence in Kaspa being one of the strongest assets in the space. You are seeing literal titans who founded crypto effectively, founded the foundation that we use. Smart contracts. Nick Szabo is the one who coined that term, who created smart contracts. He is one of the titans in the space, and he is now endorsing Kaspa, talking about Kaspa. That in itself is a massive voting confidence in what we are holding. We have got a bit of FUD, courtesy of Shy once more. We'll talk about it. I did have Devious ask me earlier in my free Discord server. Again, if you want to find out more park conversations and whatnot, reach out to me at any time pretty much. Check out the free Discord server here. He asked me a question regarding Shy's comment, which we'll get to a little bit later on, which is this one here. And I think, again, it's Shy spreading FUD. Understandably, he probably has a valid cause for concern, but I'm going to talk about it and ultimately get you all in a mindset, my mindset, and understand ultimately what he's trying to get at as well, without the doom factor of it. Welcome back, Shiley. Exposure doing very, very well when Binance and Coinbase. Again, timeline we don't know, but we have got some relatively reassuring posts to get through in today's stream, so stay tuned for that in about 5-10 minutes or so. Welcome back, Mike. Hope you're doing very, very well. Not a coincidence he came back. Oh no, not at all. You know, think about somebody else who had an extensive time away from, you know, online activity from Twitter or whatnot, and he came back for the first time in a while. I think it was sometime this year as well, and it had correlations to Kaspa as well. No surprise that Nick Szabo is coming back right now as smart contracts have been released. It seems almost too good to be true. Okay, Binance, let's list this stuff now. It's time. The ball starts in October. Let's get it. Oh yeah, my bags are packed, ready for the takeoff. We'll hopefully see a Binance listing. I'm hopeful, as always, that we'll see a Binance listing. I think we've got time. We'll have to wait and see. Though, of course, we'll keep everybody else continuously updated. Welcome back, Octoplus, bro. You're doing very, very well. Kaspa is number 52 on CoinMarketCap. Yeah, and yeah, it's coming number 52. It sucks, but you know, right now nothing particularly moving. Yes, Kaspa's come and lost the top 50 right now, but okay, nothing's really moved. Look at the market chart right now. Look at the market chart. Nothing's really moved. Bitcoin's hovering 110k, Ethereum 4k, XRP $2.82. Everything is not really moving right now. And Kaspa's biggest catalysts and stuff like tier 1 listings, they haven't come to fruition just yet. It's got smart contract out, yes, but that's a foundation building block. Adoption takes time for a catalyst. So we have to wait a bit. And we're going into Q4 now with some major catalysts coming through regarding the Clarity Act, so market structure bills, regarding ETF finance for altcoins, which, while they'll be known for Kaspa, altcoin adoption in and of itself will cycle more liquidity into other altcoins as well, triggering an altcoin cycle, which will be good for Kaspa in that regard as well. You've got stuff like this from Swift, which I'll get to in a moment as well, which is very, very bullish news as well. For the general sentiment of crypto, which also could help out Kaspa, considering the KRI have Warp Core, which does tap into Swift and therefore ICE2002 too as well. Stuff like this for me is, and I mentioned this earlier as well. Somebody asked me equally on my free Discord server about my sentiment on the price of Kaspa or something. No, sorry, it wasn't that. Somebody asked me on Twitter earlier. It was Doma, I believe it was. Doma here. Doma made a post here where Doma said, I know many people say Kaspa pumped hard during the bear market. That's true. But back then, its market cap was tiny, and the tech was unique enough that people were willing to take a chance. From September 2023, near Bitcoin's bottom, Kaspa started its real run. Now, Bitcoin looks extremely extended, and honestly, that scares me. At the same time, the US government itself is pushing adoption, and that's a double-edged sword. But when I look at Kaspa's chart, I see one of the cleanest structures in crypto. I mean, that is quite evident. Yes, it's come down. Yes, it lost $1.42, but it's one of the cleanest structures in crypto. There's no doubt about that. We cannot deny that. More than 1.5 years of pure accumulation, strong fundamentals, a long-term narrative that keeps it growing. If you look at Kaspalytics and you look at the inactive supply, you can see inactive supply right now, 3 months. Look at the inactive supply for the 3 months holders right now. Still nearing all-time highs. 6 months at all-time highs. 1 year at all-time highs. 2 year, 3 year. People are using it as a store of value. So people's belief in Kaspa has not fallen off at all, which is very, very good. You can see here, I can't picture Kaspa back at 1 to 2 cents anymore. I can't personally either. I think 5 cents was the absolute bottom. Goes on here, talk about the dilemma about when should you take profits and whatnot, and so on and so forth. And my reply here was pretty, I think, my perception of Kaspa right now. Of course, price is important to an extent, and of course you want to make money, and I do. We all do. But here's what I said, and this for me is why I'm not worried, and the stuff that I cover with my VIPs as well. Anytime I get quote unquote worried about Kaspa's price, I first look at the inactive wallets, as we just did now, who are still stacking. Then I think about the catalyst for crypto that's still to come out this year, the Clarity Act, ISO 2002 migration for all financial institutions, ETF finance for altcoins, the M2 money supply continuing to increase and being at all-time highs. These are all major catalysts that indicate more money is going to come to crypto in the next coming months. And then I think about what's coming to Kaspa as an individual project. Smart contracts just came out for Kasplex, and we should see stablecoin adoption soon after as well. Igra Labs coming publicly in Q1 2026. KIR to start launching their enterprise projects in Q4 2025. Dagnite, we'll get to that today as well. VPROC, potential tier 1 listed, we'll get to that today as well. And then when I continue to do this research, stuff that I talk about in these streams, and equally in a lot more detail with institutional research with my VIPs as well, I look at the price of Kaspa and think, yay, another dip for me. I look at the price of crypto projects and think, yay, another dip for me, because I have, by all means, by all the sources that I look through and research I conduct, I have such strong faith that crypto is going to make a massive reversal, and Kaspa is going to be one of the strongest assets to make this move as well. And it's not just me believing that, all of us do to an extent, and equally some massive players as well, like Nick Szabo. They believe Kaspa is a very, very strong project. If you want to find out more, learn stuff regarding trading, educational content, or equally alpha information, learn what the smart money are saying to their clients ahead of time, allowing us to get ahead of the retail market and a lot more, check out the VIP, join for 3 for 7 days or for a month. Sign up through BYDFI, our affiliate exchange. All information is in my free Discord server, so you can check out the free Discord server and check out the channels in there, and you can learn everything you want to find out regarding the VIP, 1 month free trial, 7-day free trial, whatever it may be. Or equally, reach out to me on Discord and I'll help you out wherever I can. I am trying to be as active as possible on there, despite my busy schedule. I think I'm going to with a black Lamborghini SVJ with yellow brake calipers. Why not Kaspa Green though? Welcome back, Wing Homeboy. You're doing very, very well, brother. And everybody else tuning in once more. John Doe, is there any hope of the top of this? Is there any hope of a top left this year? Yes, 100%, John. 100%, yes. Now I'll get to more of the questions in a moment, but let me get into the content right now. So to start off with, we have this, post from Tim Warren. He had his Moon Madness, his round robin table for the crypto project, and you can see right now, Kaspa came out victorious. Kaspa was the decisive winner, beating out the likes of XRP, Chainlink, Bittensor, Cardano, and Sui. And Sui's one was not even close. 4,600 votes, a lot less than the Cardano one, but was not even remotely close. Now, of course, Sui is a significantly bigger project than Kaspa right now. Not as old, but Sui is sitting at what, top 15? Yes, well, 16th. It's 16th right now, 11.4 billion market cap. Is a lot bigger than Kaspa in that regard, but evidently community sentiment for Sui is significantly lower than Kaspa. And again, this is why I think Kaspa is got the conviction, the belief from the community. Is a community funded project, which of course the reason why these projects are doing so well here, they're VC backed, people pump money into it. Kaspa, it is us doing the pumping. We are the marketing. That's harder for us to get the price going up, therefore, but it means that the conviction in the project is a lot stronger as well, because people here generally believe that we're holding the next Bitcoin. That's why we're holding it, not because we think, oh, it's a quick buck. If we did, well, those who did think that, they're out now. People here who actually believe in the people here at this point, for the most part, are here either just to get even because they still believe Kaspa can make a pump, or they're here to generally change the monetary system and believe this is the next big thing. So Kaspa's, smashing Sui, nothing more I'd expect there, which is great stuff. In regards to Binance stuff, we had this post I think I showcased yesterday a little bit, not yesterday, the day before, which showcased that this is my brain right now 100 times. The Binance intern, of course, playing a game once more. So much teasing. Like that just to me looks very, very much like a block DAG structure. Multiple blocks going at the same time. That looks very much like Kaspa's block DAG architecture. I can't lie, 10 BPS. Very, very similar. And, thinking about the fact that only 3 days ago you had governance by smart contracts, what DAOs mean for trust and coordination. And then a day later or so, you then have this. It looks like the Binance intern once more is leaking about Kaspa again. We saw this at the beginning of the year with the blockchain trilemma post, with block time as a clock time post, and the Symphony Crescendo post they made as well as the Michael Sutton post as well. We've seen a lot of seemingly leaks regarding Kaspa and Binance. Of course, it hasn't amounted to anything just yet, which is frustrating. But this, for me, despite CZ not being the CEO of Binance anymore, this for me is probably one of the biggest votes of confidence that Kaspa is in their crosshairs. CZ is not working for Binance anymore, but he has got enough influence to still, I imagine, to have a say in what happens. CZ here talks about how he still believes that crypto projects are still not fast enough. That's a big deal. So listen very closely here to CZ Binance.
System, which is free, which is open, which is what crypto is about. So I'm really fascinated to learn. And then I think a key critical component, which I will probably spend some time learning about, is high performance blockchains. I think blockchains are still too slow. So I've been talking to quite a number of interesting people about how to do even faster performance blockchains, including like FPG.
CZ Binance have been talking to a number of interesting people. Now, of course, we don't know who those people are. It could be some Polinsky, although that is very much speculation. I have no idea who it is. Nobody does. But the main takeaway from that is CZ Binance saying he still believes, even to today, that pretty much all the cryptos, blockchain's still not fast enough. So he's speaking to people to find out a way to make it faster. So you're seeing Binance interns posting this seemingly Kaspa leaks once again, and CZ also saying that blockchain is not fast enough. Look at what Kaspa's doing right now. A proof of work project handling around 5,000 transactions per second while maintaining Bitcoin-like security and decentralization. Nothing has ever happened like this in this space. This is faster than most project proof of stakes while still being a proof of work that is secure and decentralized. This is revolutionary technology. And yes, the argument I keep seeing time and time again for those who probably lost faith in Kaspa is tech doesn't always win. You're right and you're wrong if you believe that. You're right because tech doesn't always win, but game-changing, revolutionary tech that solves real issues does always win. Think about the creation of electricity. That one over oil and fossil fuels and whatnot. Think about the creation of internet. That one over the internet of information as opposed to, post offices and whatnot. But you have now blockchain that's beating out the fiat system. That's superior technology. Kaspa is the next step up from that. If it changes and makes significant developments and benefits, then that's significant game-changing, groundbreaking tech that does win. And Kaspa is the only asset in this space that is faster than pretty much everything else while still being decentralized and secure, giving you true self-sovereignty. That's something that in due time will be adopted, and I think it's going to start this cycle and explode from that point forward as well. On September 27th, so yesterday, Kaspa surpassed 6 million transactions following the launch of the Kaspa Layer 2, reflecting steady activity as smart contracts roll out of the network. So we're seeing some smart contract talk as well. We've got some good, bad, and ugly stuff to talk about that today, but equally smart contract, very, very exciting stuff. And we can see on Kaspalytics right now, in regards to what's happening right now, it looks like Kaspa have 14,000 transactions, and we seem to have somehow 56.5 million unique counts. I imagine that's probably TBDAI. They're not even there actually right now, so I don't know what's causing all that volume right now, but we have a significant 56 million unique count in regards to transactions, which is, impressive, to say the least. That's the highest I think I've seen in Kaspa ever, at least that I can remember. So that's, again, adoption coming to Kaspa right now, really, really cool. We're seeing a lot of KRC 20 inscriptions right now, 388,000. So we're seeing a lot more coming to Kaspa. I imagine this will fall off and dip off, but as the adoption starts to surge gradually through the cycle, you'll see it start to also steadily rise with it as well. Especially to start seeing the likes of stablecoin adoption coming on Kaspa as well, and more dexes and tools and stuff being built on Kaspa as well. Now, regarding smart contracts though, we have now got the big new game-changing announcement here. Brandon Turp here just made an announcement saying that there are people who have worked at the highest levels of finance for over 30 years with the top 1% IQs and know how to make so much money, but still don't understand monetary inflation and the value proposition of Bitcoin as hard money. Ultimately just saying that once more, Bitcoin is revolutionary, crypto is revolutionary, and we are very, very early. Nick Szabo has finally come back. After yesterday, came back for the first time, making his presence known. Hasn't been on Twitter for over 4 years. He's been inactive. They spent their whole life swimming in the fiat goldfish bowl. They don't know any different environment. Very fair point here. Isn't that the same for Bitcoin maximalists? We have Kaspa, which it could be better than Bitcoin, but refuse to see it. Nick asks here, how many Kaspa full nodes are there? How much history does Kaspa nodes need to store to provide the most trust minimization? Given that stored history, how fast TB per year would these nodes being filled up if a Kaspa chain operated at volume dollars equivalent to Bitcoin? Questions that probably go over my head, but I mean, this guy knows more than me. Son Polinsky replies to Nick Szabo, as you'd expect here, with the upcoming Dagonite protocol, which is meant to be coming out in 2026 next year, Kaspa improves over Bitcoin's trust model by remaining secure under chaotic internet, removing the 10-minute latency assumption. It removes latency, it removes time constraints. Continuously validating nodes, many Kaspa nodes, full history, IBD, and store nodes not native protocol citizens, TB would fill up quickly. Default operations mode pruned, default IBD mode SPV, like so on and so forth, primitives to prove heaviest chain, other protocols that improved over Bitcoin while still optimizing the same Pertian model. Apparently Bitcoin remains king for many good reasons. Now, again, I'll be so transparent, a lot that went over my head. And he makes a correction here as well, talking about it. But what I take from this is Son Polinsky talking about, again, how Dagonite's going to be a very, very big thing for Kaspa. Those who don't understand, Nick Szabo, the legendary cyberpunk who coined smart contracts and designed BitGold, he's returned after years away. He's also the man here, which I'll play this video in a second right now. He's the one who literally said that Viv Zohar and a man who his name he forgets, but he means Son Polinsky, they are experts in Bitcoin security, a skill set in scarce supply. Listen very closely here.
Paper on attack. There's a guy named Aviv Zohar who's written some great papers. One of them is on Ghost, which is what Ethereum is based on. And he's got a follow-up to that whose name escapes me. And he's also co-authored a great paper on attacks against Bitcoin from the underlying network. So he's one of the experts on the security of Bitcoin, which is a skill and knowledge set in scarce supply.
So that is Nick Szabo, the creator of smart contracts, basically saying Son Polinsky is a genius. He's got his stars and stripes, his accolades, and he has skill sets that is very, very rare. Experts in Bitcoin security. And Son Polinsky here is talking to him about Dagonite. And then you have this here. P.S. I think BlockDAG, after asking this question here, which Son Polinsky replied himself, he then put to himself, P.S. I think BlockDAGs have a great deal of potential, but it is best realized when emphasis is put on applying the better trade-offs to improving trust minimization rather than on other I don't even know what that says, such as performance. Bitcoin remains king because so many have prioritized so many other elements of a trust minimization. But yeah, the takeaway from this is Nick Szabo again coming back for the first time in 4 years, talking about how he thinks BlockDAGs have a great deal of potential, and of course Son Polinsky here talking about the upcoming Dagonite model, which is the protocol that is going to improve Kaspa over Bitcoin, with tremendous amounts. So Nick Szabo, after being AFK for over 4 whatever years, has come back saying, I do like the idea of these BlockDAGs. I do like the idea of Kaspa. I'm trying to understand more about it. I still think Bitcoin is king, as all Bitcoin maximalists tend to say. He likes the idea of Kaspa. He's open-minded about Kaspa. That in itself is a very, very big deal. And yes, maybe some don't perceive it as being a great deal of acknowledgement, but when you think about the contrast of, again, like Adam, who's just blocked a lot of Kaspa maxis, Nick's here saying that I think they have great potential. He's not pushed Kaspa away. He's like, I like the idea of BlockDAG. And I'm sure he's going to be very, very thrilled when he sees more in regards to the construction of Dagnite when it's closer to completion. Right now, we did hear from Michael Sutton a few days back that VProg yellow paper is going to be coming out more and more, and they're planning to start the first stage of implementation of Dagnite soon enough as well, which is, again, really bullish news. So yeah, you see it here. He inquires about trade-offs to Kaspa and GhostDAG, and Vlad here, who did this, the 6-hour odd podcast or whatever it was with Son Polinsky, even said here, I think he covered these issues around the 3-hour 51-minute mark when he addressed the upcoming Dagnite protocol and its trade-offs here, and he liked the comments as well. So, notably Senpai GIF, all that sort of stuff as well. So again, this is great. I'd say great acknowledgement from the creator of smart contracts, one of the Bitcoin OGs, a absolute legend in the space, about Kaspa, about the project that we have belief in. So while the price is only at 7 cents, 7.6 cents, and while it has been a very, very long year and a half of just downwards and accumulation, and I'm sure many of you are frustrated and I'm waiting patiently for the Binance listings and for the price to finally move, you know, I get it. Trust me, I get it. I'm in the same boat as you all here as well. You know, I've also had my time of Kaspa, but at the same time, when I see the developments here, it makes me once more believe that what I'm holding is revolutionary, that has the belief of so many people who literally, again, to go down to the very, very beginning, 90% of projects created in crypto, even the likes of Ethereum, the likes of Polkadot, the likes of Cardano, the likes of these projects, they were derivatives based off the protocols that Son Polinsky created. The Ghost, the Phantom, the Spectre. Kaspa launched GhostDAG and then has upgraded to Rust. And it's going to soon be Dagnite, another massive improvement. Kaspa, for me, is almost a no... I don't even say almost, it is a no-brainer as a project that's going to significantly change its space. And those building a Kaspa who build early and do so in good faith will also reap the benefits as well. Those who get in early, in my personal belief, will also reap the benefits. Now, of course, when that happens, we don't know. I think we'll see some movement and some very bullish moves in this quarter. But again, I'm not a financial advisor. I'm not a crystal ball. You do your own research, you trade at your discretion, and you do so at your own risk, because investing, no matter what it is a risk. You know? Even though my biggest bag is in Kaspa by a long shot, I've mentioned it publicly, I have diversification, I have other assets that I hold, and I've made capital, I've made gains, I've made losses, you know? It's part of investing. But the gains I tend to make, I put back into Kaspa because I see what's coming out for this project, and the belief is unimaginable. For example, I spoke about stablecoins earlier. Ski here asked who's working on bridging Tether to Kaspa now that Kaspa is live, and Kaspa.com said they're working on it. That's great stuff. That's fantastic news. I mean, no Circle should be coming soon enough as well. So stablecoins will be on Kaspa soon enough, which is great, great news. Again, I think Kaspa, at its current price, depending on how long you hold, can make you a millionaire. Of course, it depends on how much you're holding and how long you're holding, but Kaspa has the potential to make many, many millionaires. We are so early, you know, so very early in Kaspa right now. We're looking at, what, a total market cap of what, just about 2 billion, if just slightly under that right now, 2.03 billion. 26.75% circulating supply. We've got another, what, give or take 10 years of supply still to come out. And of course, with the protocol that will soon become native with the VProgs, it will all be going through the layer 1. Kaspa's price and adoption is going to rocket from there, especially considering what's going to be coming out. Before I get to more Kaspa content here, we've got this post here I want to get into. Smoke here posts that Barclays Bank has reported, or they're reported and they confirms that November 2025, which is a month and a half away from now, or a month away from now, the ISO 20022 deadline is key to crypto integration into global payments. You can see that here. Cyboss 2025, the outlook of banks. At Cyboss 2025, attention will focus on ISO 20022, driving the payments revolution, digital assets moving from promise to practice, and liquidity powering capital markets despite tariff shocks. Experts from across corporate banking and capital markets share insights on what lies ahead and how to seize the opportunities. You can see even here, Swift posted, Cyboss 2025 is going to be kicking off tomorrow. 11,500 plus people, over 500 speakers, over 200 exhibitors, and a program packed full of insightful sessions. This is one of the biggest events, and again, this event's going to be talking about ISO 20022, ultimately the migration stage, the penultimate stage before being compatible and be able to message and communicate with blockchain technology with crypto. And to remind you again, if you haven't seen it, check out the video that I posted, I think, a couple months back now. Go to my channel, you scroll down and you will see, which video is it? It is, which one is it? Too far back? Too far back. This one here, with the Swift here. Kaspa KRI has officially tested with Swift. They confirmed it in a blockchain banter, a Monday blockchain banter, 2 months ago now, that they have tested with the Swift ISO 20022 with Warp Core. Now, how much further we progress from there, we don't know yet. But the point being is Kaspa, thanks to the KRI, thanks to enterprise adoption, they have got connections to Swift. They are connected, therefore, or connecting to the 11,000 banks with Kaspa. A very, very big deal indeed. A very big deal indeed. Swift is expecting 91% of financial institutions to be ready for the November 2025 deadline to migrate to ISO 20022. 91% of all, of 11,000 banks, 91% will be ready. So effectively, therefore, 10,000 of those 11,000 banks, at the very minimum, from the looks of things, will be ready and connected to ISO 20022, ready to connect to blockchain. At the same time, cryptocurrency, stablecoins, and tokenization are moving into the mainstream. ISO 20022's richer data model will be critical for conversion between digital assets and fiat assets. November 2025 ISO 20022 deadline, therefore, is not the end of the transformation of the payments industry, but the beginning. It is a facilitator for innovations across instant payments, APIs, open banking, and digital assets. That is coming this year. That is why I'm not bearish on crypto. That's why I think we can go higher. This won't necessarily cause a God candle. We need to understand right now that this is no longer a hype and FOMO cycle. We need to drill this into our heads. This announcement, this development, this shift won't necessarily cause that, because it is a foundation building block to allow banks to start communicating with crypto. That won't overnight soar. We're going to start slowly, it's like the I'm trying to think of a good example. It's like a tide coming in, the tide comes in slowly, bit by bit, and then it's like a hurricane forming off the coast. It goes in bit by bit, it gets a bit more aggressive, and then it comes like crazy. That's what we're going to be seeing right now in regards to its adoption, regulatory clarity, everything. So with the developments, the only thing you should expect some significant adoption of straight off the get-go would be listings, like, for example, Binance listing Kaspa, that would cause quite a lot of FOMO, or ETF filings, that's going to be an opening for institutions to start hedging in their capital into ETFs. Those are the only two catalysts that you should expect extreme price pumps on the day. Unless you're just in a very bullish cycle to the point where everything's just pumping 10% on the daily, then that's fine. But otherwise, only thing that caused that is ETFs and listings. Otherwise, then, stuff like smart contracts being launched, stablecoins launching on Kaspa as well, in regards to this groundbreaking development here as well, in regards to adoption, ISO 20022, KRI launching their enterprise projects as well, all their fantastic stuff. Dagnite, it's got a lot from around it. Dagnite might be different, but these are foundation building blocks. They are great and will cause so much more adoption and trust, but they don't cause price pumps. We are no longer in a FOMO-driven cycle. If you want to go to FOMO, go to meme coins, go to Solana Degen. That will get you 500% gains and or losses in a few minutes. This is future. This is holding for the future, as well as also making gains in the medium term, again, as you know what you're holding and you've done your research. That's what we're waiting for right now. And we're seeing some big developments coming through very, very soon. Now, I've got some more updates here as well. A few more here. We should address some of the FUD as well as the good news. But before we do, again, let's get into some questions first and foremost, because it has been quite some time now. So we got it next up with TP. Yo, fast proof of work smart contracts. Welcome back, bro. Hope you're doing very, very well. And yes, Kaspa, fast proof of work smart contracts. Absolutely game-changing stuff. Diamond hands indeed. Welcome back, Ghosty, bro. You're doing very, very well. Yes, had a great weekend so far. Hopefully you all had a great weekend so far as well. Next question comes in from, it is Knight Rider. We need Taylor Swift to start talking about Kaspa. I mean, that will cause some FOMO, no doubt, but I'm kind of happy right now in regard to Kaspa's price being where it is, because I think people right now are failing Kaspa so much because they just want price. They want FOMO. That right now, I think for the most part, people who are holding this project right now are those who are convicted and know what they hold. They're not paper hands. Although I do know people who say they will sell once we do get all-time high again, that's fine. Do as you will, but I personally believe it's a mistake, but I'm not a financial advisor. You do what's best for you as an investor. I'm not selling at all-time highs. No way. That would also be nuts if you name one of our pets Kaspa. I do believe you'll see a celebrity do that one day. I feel like you might see the KF just pay a celebrity to name their pet or something Kaspa, or talk about it. I could see something like that happening. My dream car is a Ford Model T. Lovely stuff. Hopefully you get that with Kaspa. And yes, Crypto Ghost is right. If you enjoy these streams, I'll be doing these streams basically every single day. Leave a like, share with your friends, subscribe for more. Come check out the free Discord server as well to come chill, chat, and learn more about crypto and Kaspa. Everything you want to know about me, and equally to lock in more and level up more of the VIP. All information is down below in the description, also in the server as well. So come chill and learn more. We're actively trying to learn more in there, and it's, you know, it's beneficial. I think those who have been there have learned a lot more in there, truth be told. Doma is a scammer who rugged the KYC project. I'm not too well versed with Doma. I just know he asked me the question. He made a post there, and I was like, I mean, sure, I'll reply to it. I don't know very much about Doma. The only people who I know very well in this space, in all transparency, would be the Hutchison people, Ludwig Hutchison's, Chris, and I'm forgetting the other one's name. Chris Hutchinson and his brother. I'm forgetting his name. What's his name? It'll come back to me. I feel bad about that. And some others, of course. Lebendi Pro, those people as well. I'm not too well versed with Doma and what he has or hasn't done. So if that is true, then, you know, that's not good. But, you know, regardless of that, the point here still stands. My point here, it doesn't matter who asked the question, my point here still stands. I'm not worried about Kaspa at all, because I know what's coming out in the future. You know? So that's just me. This is huge. Nick Szabo talk about Kaspa, 100%. Very, very big. Very, very big. Again, he's still asking questions, he's still trying to prod in, which is understandable. But he equally still believes that BlockDAC has a great deal of potential. That in itself is very bullish. Very bullish. Only invest into crypto on what you're willing to use. That's also a big thing. If you are worried about how much capital you have, then you have too much in. Simple as put. If you are worried about how much money you've got into a project, it means you've got too much invested. The money I have in Kaspa is quite, you know, is a healthy bag, I'd say, for me. For me personally, it's quite a healthy bag. It's more than I have in any other project by a while, but it's also money that I am happy, or not happy, but I'm content if it was to go to zero. I don't want it to, and I don't believe it will. But if it went to zero, it wouldn't affect my daily life, because it's excess money for me. That's the thing you should be doing as an investor anyways, because otherwise the risk could be too great and therefore make you emotional and not logical. This is why you can't get disappointed and only joy will come your way. 100%. Top 50 for a proof of stake that is backed by any VC is almost immediately top 50 just because of minimum viable product value and venture capitalist investment firm gives it. Yeah, exactly. The projects who are here in the top 50, you know, these are there because they had VC investments and tier 1 listings and whatnot. They've been pumped there. Kaspa's got to where it got to. At one point, top 20, all organically. Kaspa got to top 20 organically. And now I'm sitting at 52. Unfortunate, but it's done this even then organically, which is impressive considering that you've got projects down here who are VC backed to, I mean, even it's below Trump, is above Trump coin right now, which means it should be at the very least, to be honest. But, you know, Kaspa, again, did the round robin thing and crushed every other project, which is proof that the sentiment around this project and what it is and how strong it is much stronger than everything else. But the reason why other projects are higher is because, you know, investors and big capital firms are pumping money into it to give them the money to invest and also to pump the markets up. It's a dog-eat-dog world. It's not an easy game investing. If it was easy, we'd all be billionaires. We say it time and time again. Kaspa is not being easy. At least for some people, for a lot of people. I find Kaspa easy because I'm not worried about the price in the immediate short term. I still taking it into account. I can see that Kaspa right now is trading between these zones. If we lose 7.2, we'll come back down to probably 6.5. If we hold it, we'll trade it between here, and then the breakout will either be from 8 cents above, or it'll be from 7.2 below. Like, we're trading between the zone right now. We're trading right between the zone right here. So that's and we've done this time and time again. We did it there, we did it there, and we did it there. So I'm expecting that to happen again until we see a definitive move from Bitcoin or Ethereum, or go for a bit of bad announcement, or good announcement for Kaspa, depending. But this is all organic, which is a big deal. Welcome back, Art Zero, bro. You're doing very, very well. I come here to get some crazy hopium. My boy Jay has been saying soon, next month for Village. My sources say this month for years, hopefully soon. You know me. Always trying to be the optimist here. And I mean, in this current situation, I think we'll start seeing some bullish moves for crypto going into October, like probably mid-October, off the back of more rate cuts likely coming through if we do get macro data that supports that. When Kaspa moves, again, we'll have to wait and see. I think Kaspa's going to follow Bitcoin and ETH for some time until you get the alt cycle and then alts start breaking off and doing their own thing. I think that's when Kaspa's going to start really shocking people. The minimum value viable product value is essentially any amount the VC is willing to pay. Yeah, pretty much just pump into the market. For example, if there's 1 billion token supply and the VC invests 500 million, the token will release at 50 cents valuation. Yeah. You think about ICP launched at like extortionately high price, and now it's worth a couple dollars. HBAR launched at quite a high price as well. Did launch at zero. Kaspa launched at zero. HBAR launched up here at 30 cents or whatever. Kaspa launched at zero. So Kaspa had a rally, and the market cap was tiny. But you say we are early. That's up. I mean, we are early. If you think about what's still to come for Kaspa and who's starting to talk about Kaspa, while we only just released smart contracts 2 days ago. 10 BPS has been out for what? May, June, July, August, September. We're looking at what? 5 months, 6 months max. 5 months. Yeah, we're going into the 5th month. We're in 4 months right now. We're going into the 5th month now for the release of 10 BPS. I haven't got the tier 1 listings. We are early. The fact that we're seeing 110k Bitcoin and the M2 money supply is looking like this. And again, it's not properly amounted for the fact that it's just soared up massively again. Like, we are still early. Crypto's still got a lot higher to go. And Kaspa is sitting at only 7.6 cents. We haven't had that massive rally yet, that euphoria rally for crypto yet. That normally comes in Q4. That might happen again this time round. Maybe it's going to be Q1 2026. Who knows? Kaspa's a small market cap. It's had a euphoria rally a year ago, 2 years ago. It's come down for a long time. Every other asset had their own euphoria run at one point. Most had it during Trump's when he won and the election, and he was about to be inaugurated. When he was about to be inaugurated, you saw many assets pumped down. Kaspa did, but not enough. Did this, didn't pump it that significantly for Kaspa. Kaspa just had a different cycle to pump in, but it doesn't mean it's not going to miss this one out at all. We're not even in October yet. We've got a few days. So yeah, I think we're still early. Kaspa to the moon, I believe so, IBO. I do believe so. BlackRock got CZ right out of there before the ETF launch. Yeah, honestly. Kaspa will melt faces 100% Dimitar. After burning yourself last night, did you create a burn wallet? Ha ha ha. Very funny. Yeah, very funny indeed. Yeah, no, you hold it 100%. 100%. Kaspa is one of the assets that are really special, different to all coins. 100%. Kaspa is unique in every aspect, and people are starting to realize that the money and the price may not reflect that. The more and more people are holding Kaspa, more people are using it as a store of value and starting to even utilize it as a bit of exchange and trading and whatnot. People like Nick Szabo starting to talk about Kaspa more so. CZ's hinting at Kaspa more so. You've heard other massive individuals talk about Kaspa. You've heard people like DaVinci Jeremy, Bitcoin Max, who hated Kaspa, now saying he's got a big bag of it. Bitcoin Max is coming over to Kaspa more and more as well. We are literally in that penultimate stage right now. First they ignore you, then they laugh at you, then they fight you, then you win. We are literally starting to win right now. It's right before our eyes. The price is not reflecting that, but the words of people is starting to reflect that, and that will correlate to adoption, demand, price. It just takes time. Stuff that people don't like hearing is patience. No one likes hearing it, but it's the truth of the matter. I've been holding for 2.5 years and I've still up 55%. I mean, some people have been very, very fortunate. Some are up like you, some are also not up. I'm not up, but I'm not bothered by it because I do see where I'm going in the future as well. Also true, Kaspa was the fastest to 1 billion market cap, so it should also be the fastest to 1 trillion market cap from here as well. I don't disagree with that at all. I changed to Bitcoin for Kaspa when Bitcoin was 32k and Kaspa was more than 10 cents. I mean, unfortunate is what it is. Sometimes you win, sometimes you lose. But it's all in the hindsight of the day. You could have held Bitcoin, be up, and then switch now. But that's why comparisons of the joy, don't stress too much on, what you cannot control. You took a gamble, you took a risk. This didn't pay off, at least for the time being. But that may pay off, in a longer time frame, which I hope for another year maybe, it'll probably pay off. We'll have to wait and see. You don't regret it. So yeah, you don't regret it. That's not a problem at all, therefore. Exactly. If it's Zohar be flying under the radar, we need to look into his background. I mean, yeah, I've looked into him a little bit when I first started looking into Kaspa. I know he is Son Polinsky's mentor, and I know he's been quoted in every paper that Son Polinsky's been quoted in, and Viv Zohar's there with him. Viv Zohar and Son Polinsky kind of both help create a lot of the, fundamental knowledge behind crypto. In regards to, again, you look at Ethereum's white paper, you look at many other projects' white paper. I even show it right now in regards to Son Polinsky. It's in this channel on my server, and you look here. You got in this section here. You can see Son Polinsky has been quoted in the Bank of Italy, and a Viv Zohar and a Son Polinsky 2016 in the Bank in regards to our optimal selfish mining strategies in Bitcoin. Bank of Italy, same thing in Bank of Canada, Bank of Finland, Dallas Fed, European Central Bank. In all of them, Viv Zohar and Son Polinsky. That's talking about accelerating Bitcoin transactions. This one's multiple occasions. Phantom Ghost is literally there. Talk about Spectre. Phantom Ghost, that's in the Dallas Fed. But they've been quoted multiple times. So yeah, I mean, they are there, to say the least. So that for me is reassuring, to say the least. I've just seen this here as well. From Neve reposting to my server right now. This is a response to this question here. Hey, Son Polinsky, community deserves clarity. When will Kaspa Layer 2 be truly permissionless? Will node software be open source from day one? How do we guarantee trust minimization over huge marketing hype? I know little to nothing about why Kaspa Layer 2s are created, therefore it's not valuable to me to learn about the architecture, code-based transparency, etc. I view Layer 2s as an unwise path which risks repeating Ethereum's mistakes, and I've voiced this concern for several years now. See posts on atomic compatibility and fragmentation. Identifying this problem, Kaspa Core grinded for quite a while on an enshrined Layer 2 design, which in simple words is a ZK verified computation layer, which is tightly baked into Layer 1 consensus, receiving opcode and data structure support from Layer 1 while keeping computation, and more crucially, state off Layer 1. This is the only Layer 2 system in crypto, not only in Kaspa, that enhances the network effects of Layer 1 rather than siphoning it. The rest, to me, is a distraction, and TLDR, I promise you, I know less about Kaspa Layer 2s than anyone else on Twitter. Try me, you'll see I have no idea. Okay, so in short, Son Polinsky's like, yeah, stuff like Casplex, Layer 2s, I don't care for it. I don't know about it, I don't care for it. I'm simply focusing on Layer 1. Which is, again, that in and of itself is something that I have been trying to say. And I mentioned it earlier. Now, in that regard, then, before I get to more questions now, let's go into the other post here. This one will come later. This individual here says Casplex smart contracts support Kaspa layer 1 with fees or not. Apparently, we're seeing, apparently Kasplex layer 2 has only collected like 8 Kaspa, which is nothing for the miners. It's not, ideal. People are kind of asking questions about it, and no one's really receiving any answer from Kasplex, which is unfortunate. Kaspa Silver saying the same thing. He's having a hard time figuring it out. Again, uncertainty, right? We don't like it. We'll see if Kasplex decide to answer that at all. Shy. Introduce Shy. Shy made this post here earlier today in response to this, I'm guessing it's Kasplex's roadmap regarding KRCs, EVM, Leo, and so on and so forth here. I've actually not seen this post, to be honest, but either way, Shy made a post. Now, it's going to be a FUD post, but I'm going to remove the doom factor from it and ultimately just, emphasize what he's talking about here. So once more, Shy's coming at Kasplex, saying that they are using dirty marketing stunts, that they're not to be trusted, they're centralized, and so on and so forth. Launching a network that is not open source. These are valid concerns. He's just dooming it to make it sound a lot worse, which he may be right in doing that. But the problem is, right, again, and I highly recommend everyone go read through the whole thing here. He's basically just talking again about the incorrect way that Catholic has done this thing, right? He's pissed off by it, which again, fair enough. His biggest concern is right now the community being us that haven't really called them out on it too much, which I think a lot of us have, but at the same time, a lot of people have just been like, oh great, we finally got it here. But the part for me that I think people were the most concerned about was this last part down here. He's saying that ultimately all the issues with Kasplex KEF, there's a lot of issues right now, people aren't talking about it, and the community has let Kaspa become this sort of thing right now. This is what happens when a community project is sold off by the community to the first bidder. When conviction about uncompromising quality devolves to, well, at least they're doing something. When the 3 wealthiest holders with more than 10% of the supply are in cahoots with these smoke and mirrors, the defeatist will take anything at this point mentality can very easily lead to a massive rug. Be careful and try to reach deep and remember what started all of this. Kaspa is an amazing tech. It has every chance of changing everything. But over tech, there are people, and people are greedy, confrontation averse, and exploitable. If you don't push back against poorly executed promises and unrealistic capitalization, you'll end up at liquidity. If the community doesn't step up, Kaspa might not make it. That was what scared people. Of course, it was a generic and understandable, and again, could very well be justified. I'm not saying that Shy is wrong in this. I think Shy's execution of messages are very, very negative, and that's why people don't listen to him. If he had a lot more positive things to say, people would listen to him. But because he's always putting down KEF and Kasplex, and again, he could be right in doing so, because he's always doing it though, people would just kind of brush it off. But this last sentence here scared a lot of people. Basically just saying, and to paraphrase and to ultimately get at what Shy was trying to say here, is 2 things, which Tom Polinsky says here as well. Tom Polinsky's saying here, I don't really know about layer 2s. So, in short, layer 2s, be it IGRA, be it Kasplex, they are not Kaspa. Get that thought out of your head. If Kasplex, God forbid, touch wood, were to fail, that does not impact Kaspa as a protocol. Now, will it impact the price? Probably, because investors see Kasplex as Kaspa, because they aren't, with respect, they aren't thinking. Kaspa is a layer 1 protocol. Kasplex is a layer 2 that's built on top of Kaspa using ZK. Zero knowledge. They're leveraging Kaspa technology. They aren't Kaspa. However, what Shy is saying here in a more dooming sense is, if people don't recognize this, and they start treating Kasplex like Kaspa, and start giving all the capital to these individuals without, fact checking and doing your own due diligence and just trusting them basely, they could end up rugging the project. And that is not necessarily incorrect. But that's the thing. We should, Acknowledge and know and understand that Cashplex is not Kaspa. And if you do have concerns regarding Cashplex and their lack of open source and their transparency, which you're entitled to have or not to care, up to you. If you're worried about that though, guess what? Don't participate in the layer 2. Don't jump on board. Just wait. Just don't do anything. You haven't got to do anything. Literally nothing. You're seeing it here. People are now kind of like, well, it's meant to support Kaspa's layer 1, but, you know, we're seeing like no fees coming out right now. It's kind of weird what's going on right now. People are asking questions, right? The concern is there, which is valid. And this guy just said here, you know, in one of his posts, yeah, I'm not sure if Kaspa discusses or not. I have my fun, you know, degen stuff on the Cashplex layer 2 for a few days. I lost a good bit messing around, so I'll be going back to being a stoic and holding my Kaspa until it goes to 0 or Valhalla. That is pretty much what anybody could and I'd argue should do. Again, not financial advice, you do as you will. This individual, BRT, tested out the Cashplex because he was intrigued by it, wanted to see how it works. He'd done some, he got some clarity by using it. He wasn't necessarily pleased with it so much, so he's using it. Now, some people are very happy with it, and that's great. If you like it, use it, that's fine. But you've got to understand the risk you're taking, because right now, until VProgs are introduced, Cashplex is centralized. That's not really speculation, that is fact. Cashplex without VProgs is a centralized. That's what Michael Sutton said as well. Without VProgs, any layer 2 is centralized. And the fact that Cashplex not open source their protocol is a bit concerning. Now, again, if you want to participate in that, that's up to you. I haven't got any personal qualms with Cashplex. I've not used them yet. I'm opening honest. I'm saying I do plan to try it out. But what I'm going to do when I do that is I'm going to create a brand new Kaspa wallet. I'm going to create a brand new one. I'm going to use the money from my Tangent, the excess Kaspa that I'm willing to lose, and transfer it to this brand new Kaspa wallet, connect it to the layer 2, try some stuff out. Then once I'm done with it, I'll then disconnect it. That's all I'm going to do. If I'm happy with it, I might use a bit more. If I'm not happy with it, I'll just sit back and wait. It doesn't bother me. Son Polinsky doesn't really have any idea about the layer 2s and why they're created. He is focusing on Dagonite, on VProgs. He's focusing on Kaspa at the layer 1, the actual project itself. Because the whole premise of Kaspa is to be able to build smart contracts natively on the layer 1. That's not come through yet. You've got smart contracts on Kaspa. That is a history in the making. That's fantastic. But it's not Kaspa. It's a third party leveraging Kaspa. So please, for your own sanity and your own well-being, don't misconcept KEF and Cashplex to be Kaspa. If they do something wrong, they are, obviously in a much bigger sense, they are effectively, let's say theoretically, they were to act in bad faith. And I'm not saying they're going to. I don't believe they will. Let's just say they do for argument's sake. They're just a bigger Change Finance. They're a bigger Probify. They are a bigger KDX. That's what they are. They are third party. They are not Kaspa. Now, so I did mention in regards to the fact that the biggest issue was also because, look, people don't really care to make the distinction between Cashplex, Kaspa, Cashplex, KEF, and Kaspa, in part because they aggressively market themselves as Kaspa with virtually no pushback from the community. I don't know how much I believe that, but at the same time, again, I can't disagree with it because I have seen people in this community, in this channel, in this chat saying, if Cashplex fails, I'm selling Kaspa. You can do what you want. Doesn't bother me at all, but I know that Cashplex is not Kaspa. I also know that 8 Good Lab smart contracts are coming out in the next 4 or 5 months. So can Cashplex in 4 or 5 months accumulate enough of the capital to therefore, again, in the worst doomsday scenario, rug Kaspa? I don't think so, because enough people are already a little bit unaware. Most people in this community want open source. They want transparency. They want decentralization. That's why people got into Kaspa in the first place. Kaspa has the potential to be amazing tech. That's what Shai says. That's what Nick Szabo says. You know? It's amazing. Great potential. We still believe that. That's not changed. Just don't misunderstand that Cashplex is Kaspa. And that might sound like I'm fighting Cashplex. I'm not. Again, I'm going to use it. I'm going to start using it this week. Have a little play around. I'm going to make a video either tomorrow or Tuesday, giving a tutorial about how to connect to Casplex, as long as giving some disclaimers about, what to look out for, to be careful and whatnot. But don't think about it at the end of the world in the worst case scenario that this did happen. It would suck, no doubt. But that's also the risk you take with getting into a community open source project. Anybody could do anything. It's a risk. Anything's a risk. Everything's a risk. But for me, in my own well-being, in my mind's eye, I prefer to take a risk going into a project that's truly decentralized, Kaspa, which has some potential iffy, third parties trying to build on top of it, as opposed to getting into a proof of stake that have VC backing, who, at the very base layer of the project, they can just take your capital straight off the bat. Casplex can only affect the money being put into Casplex. They can't affect the money put into Kaspa. They can't do that. If you've bridged your whole wallet into Casplex and they decide to move it, then that's your fault. If you've put a small separate wallet with small amount of capital into that exchange, into that layer 2, they can only affect what's in that wallet. They can't take the other Kaspa. And again, that's me talking about the fact that if they do that, I don't think they're going to do that. So this post for me, as I mentioned when I was asked about it, I do just believe that this post was a massive doom post from Shy once again. I think the concerns are once more justified, but I think he's again really downplaying Casplex, and he's probably got a reason to be so. He might be right. Again, I don't know. But simply put, if you are worried, just don't participate. Just wait. We've waited for 2 whatever years now. What's an extra few months? And again, remember, Casplex is not Kaspa. So Polinsky knows nothing about why layer 2s were created. There's no value for him to learn about their architecture, their code-based transparency, and so on and so forth. He does not care about it, and he views layer 2 as an unwise path which risks repeating Ethereum's mistakes. And he voiced his concerns for several years. So the so-called fix that Kaspa Core came to was to create ZK verified computation layers, which is tightly baked into layer 1 consensus, but it does not affect Kaspa. They are still a third party. And who knows what happens to them once VProx and Natus comes out? Who knows? We are so early in the understanding of Kaspa, let alone the project itself. This for me is I think honestly, Tom Polinsky did a great job making this post. Because this for me, and Enzo said it in my community just now as well, Tom Polinsky is a genius. His vision for Kaspa enshrines ZK layer is brilliant, and one day it may prove to be the definitive path. But to dismiss every other initiative as a distraction ignores the brutal truth. Hundreds of thousands of people have invested their money, their time, and belief into Kaspa, not just for its beauty, but for its survival and impact. In other words, they don't see Kaspa as an academic experiment, they see it as a lifeline. That's fair. That's fair, and I agree. But for me, it also creates a clear, Tom Polinsky is saying this creates a clear distinction between Casplex and Kaspa. For people not to think about Casplex being Kaspa, they're not the same thing at all. They're not. No, that's not to say don't use it. If you want to use it, go for it. I'm all for it. I probably will, but just don't be emotional. Be logical. Think. Think, family. In other news, I'm Aldev here. Talks about there being sniper bots running on the Casplex layer 2 already. They've noticed it on Caspa.com, LFG. So they're like, yeah, we're not having sniping bots here already. That's ridiculous. That's really, really bad on Solana. So they are creating a bot that basically outs the sniping bots. It won't fully prevent sniping bots, but it's the only way to combat them. So also very interesting stuff right now. And they're releasing it for free, by the way. So that's also really, really cool. And it's true, yeah, these sniping bots do ruin the platform because it just makes that people are just stealing profit. You would have saw similar things to KYC 20 as well when it first launched. So they will combat sniping bots on Kaspa Layer 2s. So, Kaspa.com also, they're working on a better anti-bot protection to prevent snipers. And we'll live later. Again, stuff coming out. Great to see people who are builders who are trying to ultimately prevent any misuse of Kaspa. We've also got this interview here as well that I might play, although we are past the time for today, and I've got some questions still to get through. But this is just, again, I might save it for tomorrow, actually. This is Pavel, the Igor Labs co-founder, just talking again about his perspective for Kaspa Layer 2s. And again, Igor Labs, in some semblance, is no different from Casplex. They're a Layer 2 third-party building Layer 2s on Kaspa. Just because they're part of DAG Labs does not mean they're safe. Doesn't mean that at all. You might perceive it that way, but we don't know them personally. It just, means that they're another third-party building on Casplex, building on Kaspa. And Tom Polinsky's message here also would, extend to them as well. The difference with Igor Labs right now is they are being a lot more transparent and taking things slowly. And they have also said that they would open source their code before the launch. At least they said that right now. Hopefully they stick to that. We'll have to wait and see. So I might play it today. If not, I'll play it tomorrow. But I'm going to get some questions real quickly first and foremost as well. I also agree. As long as we don't break the support, which for me is this one here pretty much, then I think we'll be fine. I think we'll be perfectly fine. Great analogy with the tide. Thank you very much, Ezekiel. Thank you very much. I was trying to think one really badly there. And yes, Autoplus is right. If you enjoy the stream, leave a like, share your friends, subscribe for more, and just don't be emotional. Be logical. Come learn more on the free Discord server. We're learning a lot more in there. Trying to actively create a better mentality and mindset, logical thinking regarding crypto and Kaspa to become a better investor. And you can level up even more so with the VIP. warp.com/coinfactory, 7-day free trial or a 1-month free trial if you sign to BYDFI and follow the steps in our free Discord server. Again, you can ask me on Discord. I help you out wherever I can. If they list Kaspa, who will use the other crypto? Nobody, pretty much. We'll see. Yeah, we'll list Kaspa. Yeah, I mean, again, we just seen this stuff now. They're leaking Kaspa once again. They're seemingly talking and hinting about Kaspa once again. It's a matter of time. I just don't know really when. Or set up a node. Well, great stuff, Justin. If you could probably reach out in my free Discord server. If you go into the running nodes section in the free Discord server and you just ask about, I think there are members in a part of my free server who probably know how to do it or find the information for it. So if you go into my Discord server and you go onto the running nodes channel, which is underneath mining and news and Kaspa and whatnot, just ask, I need help setting up a node. Our community is very, very supportive. I'd imagine it might be Tony that helps because he, I think, knows more or is more willing to help. And I know that much. Shout out to you, brother. But again, just ask about, I'm sure someone gives you a helping hand and you'll find out how to do so. First stablecoin is live. Is it? Is it live? I've not heard anything about it just yet. Have a quick look right now. Welcome back. Vilkio, you're doing very, very well. J and Ken as the names coming to Tangent. I don't know just yet. I don't think they are just yet, but they might change in the future. Jay, please, you're private. With P on Discord is me. I will. Okay, I'll read it real quickly. Okay, okay, thank you very much, Pierre. I will look at this off stream just because I want to have time to actually dissect and look into all the information, and well, I'll get back to you then, brother. Let me just quickly, let me look off the stream, please. I'm not sure why it's taking so long for Binance to list. The accumulation, they're not being paid to list it pretty much. Yeah, it's very, very huge. No doubt, Jason. Very, very huge indeed. Look at Tau. It's all in the big exchanges not pumping as well. Yeah, exactly. It's just a matter of when it pumps. It's not a matter of if or when it pumps, That's huge. That's very, very big. Wolfie has stepped up on the posting on X. I mean, people go through, hopefully it does it continuously, but people tend to go through phases. I know I do. I posted a lot like a few days ago and then I stopped a little bit. But, yeah, we'll see a lot more interaction with Kaspa as the ecosystem continues to grow more and more as well. Yeah, I know, but you'll see people trying to counteract that stuff already, which is good. It's going to happen inevitably, though. With that being said, though, family, I think that goes through all the questions right now. So, with that being said, that will conclude today's Kaspa Crypto live stream. We have a lot more to cover. We'll get through some stuff tomorrow as well. I'll check this video tomorrow. I'm going to repost majority, if not all these posts in my free server. So, if you want to find out and look for the information yourself, check it out. Free server right here and also down in the description. But yeah. If you enjoyed the stream, leave a like, Share your friends, subscribe for more. If you want to know more about crypto and Kaspa, check out the free community, and equally learn a lot more, unlocking more of the VIP. All information down below on my homepage in the description as well. That being said, my family, have a great day, good evening, and good night, and I will see you all in the next one. Don't be emotional, be logical.